Did you know that in 2014, the University of Virginia conducted a study in which 67% of men and 25% of women preferred to give themselves an electric shock rather than sit quietly alone in an empty room for 15 minutes? A human being is ready to endure pain, but sitting alone with themselves feels worse than death. And this is where your real slavery begins. Sitting silently in an empty room for just 10 minutes, without a phone, without the internet, without any person, and without any sound, feels like a terrifying punishment. That is why today someone else is deciding your thoughts, your emotions, and your future. You may think you are very intelligent, but the truth is that you have become an anonymous part of a crowd. Watching this video for the next 10 minutes without skipping or increasing the speed will be your biggest challenge today. You will learn how to turn this frightening loneliness into your greatest and most dangerous strength, a strength that will make you mentally strong, clear, and powerful, so that the world will naturally be drawn toward you. Welcome to English Audiobook. In 1654, a great French philosopher, Blaise Pascal, revealed a terrifying truth about human nature that remains just as true today. Pascal clearly said that all of humanity's problems arise from one simple fact: a person cannot sit quietly alone in a room. We have become addicted to noise. When your phone battery dies and the Wi-Fi stops working, the sudden anxiety and restlessness you feel in your chest is not just boredom. It is a symptom of a mental condition. It is the fear of that emptiness which demands that you face your true self. We are all running in a race where we are trying to escape from ourselves. We hide in Instagram notifications, meaningless conversations with friends, background music, and pointless arguments, because when you are completely alone, there is nowhere left to run. Loneliness is not a spiritual vacation. It is a cruel mirror that forces you to face your flaws, your insecurities, your failures, and your deepest fears. In psychology, this is called cognitive avoidance. To understand it simply, imagine there is garbage rotting in one corner of your house. Instead of cleaning it, you spray a strong, pleasant perfume in the room. As long as you are around people or on social media, the perfume works, but the moment you are alone, that external perfume fades, and you are forced to face the stench of that rotting garbage in your own mind. Knowing yourself and looking within is not a beautiful or peaceful experience at the beginning. It is ugly, frightening, and painful. You are forced to face the mistakes you have blamed on others your entire life. You realize how you wasted valuable years seeking approval from others. But remember, the person who can endure this mental pain and restlessness, who does not look away from this mirror, is the one who breaks free from the matrix in which the rest of the world remains blindly trapped. Now think for a moment. Are your thoughts really your own? The great philosopher Soren Kierkegaard said something deeply piercing. The crowd is untruth. The moment you become part of a crowd or a group, you lose your truth and your personal responsibility. The crowd makes you a coward. It weakens you mentally. Today, the crowd is not just on the streets, it exists inside your phone. When you cannot tolerate loneliness, you start adopting any foolish ideology just to feel like you belong to a group. You repeat news, memes, and other people's opinions like a parrot and confidently believe they are your own thoughts. You become part of an echo chamber, a closed, suffocating space where only voices like yours bounce back to you, creating the illusion that the whole world thinks the same way. There is a cult classic Hollywood film, American History X. The main character, Derek, is a leader of a hateful and extremist group. His mind is completely brainwashed by the group's ideology. But the real change begins when he goes to prison. In the harsh isolation of prison, when he is cut off from his group and separated from the noise and hateful speeches of the outside world, his eyes finally open. That period of loneliness breaks the toxic influence. When you are alone, you are forced to carry the weight of your own thoughts. You cannot become a pawn in someone else's agenda. Now, let's talk about the power that this solitude gives you in the external world. You must have noticed in your life that a person who is always available for everyone is never respected. Anything that is easily and constantly available loses its value. This is a bitter truth of human psychology. The famous strategist Robert Greene clearly wrote in his book, The 48 Laws of Power, Law 16, use your absence to increase respect and honor. When you learn to depend on yourself, when you show through your behavior that you are not desperate for anyone's company, suddenly your value increases 10 times. There is a huge difference between feeling lonely and choosing solitude. Loneliness is a miserable state. It is a weakness. It is the complaint that, I have no one, I am empty. But solitude is a powerful force. It is a chosen state. It is telling the world that you are complete within yourself and do not need meaningless noise. The great Portuguese poet Fernando Pessoa once wrote a truth that every person today should write on their wall. Freedom is the ability to be alone. If you can walk away from people without begging for money, company, love, or fame, then you are truly free. But if you cannot be alone, then you are a born slave. No matter how intelligent you are, no matter how many degrees you have, if you cannot spend time with yourself, you are nothing more than an educated servant. These words are harsh. They directly hit the ego, but this is the naked truth. Your constant need to be surrounded by people, your habit of replying on WhatsApp all the time, is making you their slave. When you master solitude, you teach people, without saying a word, that your time and your existence have great value. Now, the biggest question is, how do you break this chain of mental slavery? How do you turn this loneliness into your sharpest and most dangerous weapon? We have to live in this real world. We have to work in this society. But to remain untouched by its noise and gain this power, you must apply a strict rule in your life starting today. We will call it hard solitude or enforced isolation. Out of 24 hours, you must give just 1 hour to yourself. No compromise. In these 60 minutes, there will be no phone, no books, no podcasts, no background music, and most importantly, no other person around you, just you, an empty room, and your thoughts. In the first 10 minutes, your mind will start going crazy. It will become restless. It will tell you to do something productive, to check your phone to see if there are any important messages, to see what is happening in the world. This is your addiction speaking. But you must stay there like a rock. Feel that restlessness. Let that poison come out, the poison that this noisy, superficial world has filled inside you. After the first 15 minutes, you will start bargaining with yourself. Old pain, old memories, everything you buried deep inside will start coming up. And this is the moment where 99% of people give up and pick up their phone again. But you have to be that 1%. You must sit in that pain. When you consistently practice this 60 minutes of solitude, after about half an hour, an extraordinary glass-like clarity will begin to appear within you. MRI scans show the gray matter in the part of your brain that controls emotions and stress increases. For the first time, you will start understanding what your real goals are and which thoughts were forcefully planted in your mind by society. You will realize that the problems you thought were huge are actually nothing. Loneliness is not a punishment you need to escape from. It is a burning furnace of greatness where your thoughts, your personality, and your identity are forged into steel. People who live in noise and are always surrounded by others will always remain part of a crowd controlled by someone else. But the person who has the courage to face their own darkness in complete solitude in an empty room is the one who truly rules themselves and the world. If you have the courage to endure that 1 hour of hard solitude starting today, then write just one word in the comments. I am ready. I want to see how many people in my audience are part of that top 1% who do not run away from themselves. From today, you have started your 60 minutes of solitude. This is your first victory. But what should you do while sitting alone? How do you clean this garbage in your mind? Watch the next video on 5 boring habits. In it, I have shared those boring but powerful methods that will sharpen your focus like a laser within 14 days. Without this brain reset, your solitude will remain just a punishment. Click now and take your next step. See you in another powerful, practical, and life-changing video. Thank you very much.